They want me to record one session. Okay, so this is the session I'm going to record here. No foul language, everyone. All right, this is going to go somewhere. So we'll see, but welcome. So Scott here with Scott's Add-ins. So today we're going to talk about the add-in as a forecasting tool. In reality, it is much more than that. Think of it as a toolkit that allows you to build not just forecasts, but any bespoke financial report, model, analysis that relies on accounting system, general ledger data. So P&Ls, pro formas, tracking category analysis, consolidations of multiple orgs, and cross-org analysis. So lots of capabilities there as you use Excel as your blank canvas, and then paint on that. So it's fun, it's creative, and it also is great for helping you improve your identity in the marketplace as an accounting and finance professional as you build these bespoke financial forecasts, models, and so forth for your clients, because you're able to do things that are really unique for each business to serve them well versus a more of a templated off-the-shelf approach. And you'll see that it doesn't really come at a cost of speed or time because you're able to build up the forecasts and models very quickly and then refresh very quickly with new data. So with that, let's get going. Hopefully everybody can see the screen now, and I've got an Excel spreadsheet up. So you will need Excel, of course, and you'll need a Microsoft 365 subscription to use the add-in. Currently works with Xero. We have QuickBooks coming online soon, and then some other accounting systems probably after that. And what we've done here, just to orient you to the tool here a little bit, we've built custom functions into Excel. So if you know how to use Excel, you know how to use the add-in right away. So the startup for this for people is very, very quick. Within 5 minutes, people are up and running, building their first sheets. Our support call volume, email volume is quite low because it's very intuitive. And I think once I go through a couple of these, you'll see that. So if I just start typing Scott functions here, you'll see the 6 new custom functions that we've added that you'll have access to. So I'll run through these very briefly with you. We've got a description function, which allows you to pull the description in for a general ledger account code. We've got a GL function, which allows you to pull in the sum total of all the transactions for a certain general ledger account for a specific date range that you choose. Important point here in that you don't have to do just a month or a quarter or a year. You could do a 4-week period. You could do a weekly period and have 52 weeks spread across your spreadsheet. So very flexible there because we're dealing with Xero's transaction data here, not just lump sum numbers from a P&L or a balance sheet. The X range function that we have allows you to sum up a range of account balances. So you might choose to sum up in one cell all the balances for your operating expenses, as an example. Then we have our tracking codes. So in Xero, you have these tracking codes in there, and options, tracking options as well. And using our 3 different tracking functions here, you can do a lot of great sophisticated analysis by pulling in transactions that meet certain criteria for those tracking codes. One tracking code, multiple tracking codes, range of accounts, and so forth. So with that, let's do some spreadsheet building. So I'm going to just build up a couple of cells really quickly to give you an idea about how this works. And then we'll shift our attention to a pretty sophisticated sheet that shows a nice financial forecasting model that's been built. So with that, let's just choose a description, and we're going to pull in a description for one of our general ledger accounts. We're going to grab the org ID. This is Scott's org ID. So what we do when you subscribe and you connect your Xero orgs, we assign an org ID, which is then available to you in your organizations tab here. So very accessible, no mystery there. But we do that so you can use multiple orgs and pull multiple org data into the same sheet. So we'll grab that, and we'll grab our account code and close it up. And I'll come back and put the description of that account in there. All right, easy enough. Let's go ahead, get a little more sophisticated here. We'll choose a GL function, and we'll choose that org ID again. Just choose the same account code. And this time we'll choose a beginning date and an ending date for the range of transactions that I wish to sum up. And we'll close that up. And it'll go out and it'll pull the balance in there. And it's doing a lot of math behind the scenes. So we've done a lot in terms of database optimization here and speed, working with Microsoft on these custom functions. So there's a lot of technology behind the scenes, but very simple and easy to the user. So we've got that in there. And now it would be nice to see what's behind that $801,000. So we're able to look at the transactions behind that by drilling down. So if you go to the task pane, you'll see a little drill icon here that lights up. So if I click on that, it'll pop open a window. It'll show me all the transactions from zero that make up that balance. Pretty handy. Okay, so run through that. Now, we've built our great financial models here for our client, Lola's Luscious Pies. They're very happy with our work, but then a month goes by and they say, well, you know, what's the new model look like? All the data's changed in the accounting system. Okay, no exporting, no importing, none of that. All we have to do is go over and click Recalc here in the task pane on the right, and it goes out, looks for any new zero transaction data, pulls it in, does all the math again, and we've got a refresh sheet that's ready to go. So it's that easy. All right, so we talked about recalcing, drill down, building up the formulas. Let's turn our attention now to forecasting, because that's what we're here to talk about. So I want to pull up a pretty sophisticated forecast model here. And this forecast model was built for us by our friends at Full Stack Modeling, who provide educational resources for people that are interested in improving their skill sets in modeling. So a little plug for them here, just great people. And they've built a very sophisticated forecasting model here. You can see all the tabs down below here. And I'll just show you one cell here that I'm highlighted on. You can see they're using a Scott XGL function here to pull data in using different parameters that they have on different tabs. And I think there's probably 500 or 1,000 of these different cells that pull in Scott data into the sheet. So very sophisticated, bespoke financial model here. You can actually download this as a template from our site if you want to use something like this to get started and have an even quicker start with the add-in. But just wanted to give you an example of what you can do to really build bespoke forecast and financial models and the sophistication that you can employ using Excel and the add-in as your toolkit. Now, if I do a recalc here, you'll see how fast this comes back. It's going out and it's just going through lots and lots of cells, coming back with a refresh data. So it is very fast, very little latency there. So that's an example of what you can do there, just kind of discovering the possibilities of the add-in in terms of forecasting and so forth. If I click over to my org tab here, you can see I'm connected to 20 orgs. That's that org ID that I referenced earlier. You can have there's really no limit in terms of how many orgs you can have connected. So you can do multi-org analysis. We have customers that are in, say, real estate, and they have a different zero org for each property. So they might do cross-org analysis all into the same sheet for 20 or 30 different zero organizations, all connected there. So pretty powerful stuff. All right, so just recapping here, a few final thoughts before we open up for questions and chat here. This is really a great tool. The add-in's a great tool for you to differentiate yourself in the marketplace, build these bespoke solutions for your clients. It's very cost effective. So there's just not all this spreadsheet work every month. It's a build one time and refresh and deliver exceptional value time after time in there. And also, again, it's fun, it's satisfying work to do. In my point of view, sure beats doing journal entries and doing bank recs and things like that. This is much more fun. So free 15-day trial. Pricing is $20 per month for your first zero organization. then $8 per month for each additional Xero organization. You can find us at scottsaddins.com and sign up for that free 15-day trial. And now let's go ahead and check the chat. And I think somebody opens this up for unmute too, sometimes too. It's always interesting to see what happens here. So let's see, we got that. All right, standing by. Let's see. We've got, this is always fun. All right, we've got Ash, Carl, Kevin, Matthew, and Patrick. Hello, welcome everyone. Hopefully I'm reading the chat properly. I'm not seeing any questions yet. Looks like we've got about another minute remaining. Try to think of what else I can tell you about this. System's very secure, hosted on AWS, the Amazon platform. Oh, Matthew, wait a minute, here we go. Oh, Ash, thank you. Thank you for the compliment there, appreciate it. Matthew, can you please click on the other tabs to see what they look like? Yes, yes, certainly. So we've got a welcome tab here. If you have not connected, there'll be to your Xero orgs, you'll see a connect button there where you can connect to your orgs. Here's your organization tab that will listed all of your connected orgs. And this is where you'll add and connect to an additional Xero org. Then you've got your functions here. And this is really where you'll be using your recalc button. You'll click that. That's kind of the magic button here. And then you've got all your available functions and some help. And I think we're out of time. Thanks, guys.
Everybody that's joining us back. We have one session left to go, and hopefully our presenters are back in the room. Guys, if you haven't yet recorded one of your sessions, can you make sure you hit the record button for us on this last session that we're about to dive into? We've got a few more coming back. Have all Rowan?
Yep, so I'm just about to open them up again.
Right, so presenters, if you recorded, could you record the last session for us?
Okay, welcome, Billy. Let's see if we have, we'll give it a few seconds here. See who else is going to show up. This is our last session today. I think I'm finally getting the hang of it after doing 4 of these, so lots of fun. Let's see, I'm going to start my timer here. Okay, might get a few more people straggling in here, but let's get this off the screen and should be good to go. So off we go. And let's move this over here a little bit more. There we go. All right. So again, hello, I'm Scott from Scott's Add-ins. So today we'll be looking at our add-in as a forecasting tool, but really it's much more than that. Think of it as a toolkit that allows you to build not just forecasts, but any bespoke financial report, model, analysis that relies on accounting general ledger data. So P&Ls, pro formas, tracking category analysis out of Xero, consolidations and cross-org analysis. And really, you use it because it's fun. You've got a blank canvas here, which is Excel to paint on. It allows you to be creative, as creative as accountants or finance people are allowed to be. But and also, it really helps improve your identity in the marketplace as an accounting or finance professional by building these bespoke financial models, forecasts for your clients, and really showcasing your skills and delivering tremendous value to the client because you're doing bespoke work just for them. So let's get oriented to the tool, shall we? So in the spreadsheet here, and first of all, you'll need Excel, of course, to run the add-in, and you'll need a valid Microsoft 365 subscription to use it. Works with Xero today, QuickBooks coming online soon, and then probably some other accounting systems after that. And what we've done is we've built new functions, new custom functions into Excel. So if you know how to use Excel, you know how to use Scott's add-ins right away. So it's a very lean product. Requires really no training at all. Almost all of our clients are up and running in, say, 5 minutes on their own, building their models. So very easy to use, and you'll see that as we build up a couple of these. So I'll run through these custom functions with you now, just to give you a nice overview. So we've got a description function here, which allows you to pull the description in of a general ledger account. Then we've got a GL function, which allows you to pull in the balance of a general ledger account for any date range that you wish. Could be a month, a quarter, a year, could be a 7-day period, a 4-week period, whatever you define. Since we're dealing with the Xero data at the transaction level, we're able to do this and deliver some pretty sophisticated data back to you that you can work with. Then we've got our range function, which allows you to specify a certain range of general ledger accounts for you to sum up and pull data in from. So you might say, I want to sum up all of my operating expenses into one cell. So use the range function for that. Then you've got your tracking category functions. So very nice feature in Xero is tracking categories and tracking options associated with that. But Xero doesn't do a great job at allowing you to report on those tracking categories. But using the add-in, really the sky's the limit in terms of what you can do with reporting on your tracking categories. So we have an extract function, which allows you to do that. And then we also have extract M and extract R, which are variations on the theme there that allow you to do much, much more with tracking functions. So with that said, let's do some work. So I'm just going to pull in the description for a general ledger account just to get us started here, something very simple. I've got an org ID, so I'm going to grab that, and that's a Scott's org ID. So when you first connect to your Xero org, we assign an org ID to that, and that's available in your organizations tab. We'll be looking at those tabs in just a second here. So we want that, and then we want the account code. So we'll do that, and we'll close it up, and it'll go out. And I'll come back with that account code. Got a little internet latency there, but pretty quick. Now let's build a GL function here. So we're going to go out and we're going to grab the org ID again for this one. We're going to grab the account code again. And this time we're going to select a beginning date range for the transaction set and an ending date range. And what it's going to do then is go ahead and sum up all the transactions for this revenue account into this cell for that date range. And there it is. So I could change this date range right now and would automatically redo the math for me. In fact, why don't I do that here? I'm starting to get a little more efficient with this. So let's just do that for a second here. And away we go. So now, one of the things that's always in the back of our minds as we build up these financial models in here and we get some totals here is, what's the transaction detail behind that? So what we did is we built a drill down capability. So if I'm in this cell, I can go over to the task pane. I've got a little drill icon over there. And if I click on that, it's going to pop a window that shows all the transactions that underlie that balance. So it's a very nice audit tool, if you will, or if you're sharing the sheet with somebody and they're looking at their expenses or something like that, they're able to see the detail behind that. So drill down, quite a nice function there. So you've built your financial model, you've presented it to the client, great information about their business, about where they're headed. They love it, they love you. And 30 days go by, the client says, things have changed, the zero data keeps on marching ahead. Can you refresh that sheet for me? Well, no exporting, importing, none of that stuff. All you have to do is call the sheet up and recalc. And when I recalc, click on the recalc over here, it's going to go out, it's going to look for any new zero data, come back, do all the math, very, very speedy, and refresh your sheet, and you're off and going. So in terms of keeping the sheet current and useful to the client, updating your forecast, your P&L, what have you, very quick, very fast. So we've optimized the speed of this and working with Microsoft extensively to get this to happen. And this is one of the things that our clients really love about it. So that's recalc. All right, so we've looked at how to build up functions. We've looked at how to recalc, how to drill down. Pretty intuitive stuff. Now let's look at something that, well, before I do that, let me go over here, just orient you to the tabs a little bit. So we have a welcome tab here. Here's where you will initially connect to your Xero orgs. You can see I've got 19 Xero organizations connected to this one spreadsheet here. So it gives you an idea about how sophisticated you can get here if you've got clients that have multiple organizations and you want to compare across orgs and do some really nice analysis just to compare one org to the next and so forth. We have a number of real estate companies that have individual Xero orgs for each one of their properties. And what they'll do is they'll compare 15 or 20 properties on the same workbook against each other to see what trends look like there. So good example of how to do that. All right. So that's that. I'm going to go ahead and pull up this guy. So here's a very sophisticated financial model that was done for us by our friends at Full Stack Modeling. They provide training for people that are interested in expanding their expertise in financial modeling. And you can see here in cell E7, they've gone ahead and they've used one of our Scott functions, and they've got a lot of Scott functions throughout here driving this. Might be 500 or 1,000 different Scott functions that drive their financial forecast. So you can build up one-way, two-way, three-way financial forecast models in here, build them one time. Again, Excel is your blank canvas. Do whatever you want, but leveraging the power of the add-in to get that financial data from your accounting system, in this case Xero, into your sheet. And then, as with any forecast, we always want to keep it updated. So then recalcing, I'll click recalc. You can see how fast this will come back with the new data here and recalcing all the sheets and all the dependencies. So very, very fast there. So you can build up all these financial models one time and then recalc as needed. So with that, talking very fast here, final thoughts before we open up the chat and see if there's any questions. Great way to differentiate yourself in the marketplace using the add-in, building these bespoke, cost-effective solutions for your clients. Do it because it's fun and it's satisfying work. to do this. Really, you get a great sense of accomplishment, and you deliver tremendous value to your clients in the process. We offer a free 15-day trial. Pricing is $20 per month for your first Xero organization, $8 per month for additional Xero organizations after that. You can find us at scottsaddins.com. And now I'm going to check the chat to see if we have any questions. Let me stop this timer here before it makes a loud noise. Stop. Okay. Let's go back up. I wanted to check the chat. There it is. All right. Billy, it's just me and you here. Huh. That's okay. All right. Scroll down. Okay. Good to be with you this morning, Billy. And we've got about a minute left in this final Zoom call. And I'm going to stop the recording.